Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Control for Days. I am a Modern Yawgmoth specialist, and today we are going to be jumping into a Modern League with a deck that is adjacent to Modern Yawgmoth. I like to call this clinical research, where we explore other decks within the Modern format. Today's going to be a fun one. I'm excited about today's league. We are going to be playing Modern Elves. This is a deck that was popularized in the Legacy format and used the interaction between multiple elves to make a lot of mana and tutor out big scary creatures. The modern deck works similar but different at the same time in that the elves that you have access to are the same elves, but the cards that you have to tutor the big scary creatures are a little bit different. Let's jump into some of the specifics of the deck before we get started here. To start things off, we have our suite of 8 Landlore Elves, just basic mana dorks. Those are complemented by Heritage Druids, which can crank out quite a bit of mana. Devoted Druid, which has combo potential within this deck. You can use Devoted Druid in combination with Vizier of Remedies, as you've seen in my other videos, to create infinite mana. And then you can use that infinite mana to cast Finale of Devastation to pump your creatures infinitely. To use Azuri Renegade Leader's ability to pump your creatures infinitely. To draw all the creatures in your deck with Duskwatch Recruiter, or tutor any creature that you want from that point forward using Court of Calling. So if you make the infinite mana and have any one of those cards, you can just kill from that point forward. Creature tutors, you have Finale of Devastation, Court of Calling, and Fiend Artisan, and this deck is abusing the interaction between Tyvar, Jubilant Brawler, all of your mana creatures, so they all have essentially haste, and Fiend Artisan as well. You can tutor the turn it comes into play to kind of speed up the interaction. I've actually really liked Tyvar as well because it gives your deck a little bit more resiliency, so if they kill one of your creatures, you can reanimate it using its -2 ability. Grist the Hungertide is just a really good value creature that gives the deck a little more resiliency. The deck list that I took to make this deck had one Grist in the 75. I added a second one to the sideboard because I think it overperformed in the games and matches that I saw this deck playing. Besides that, that's pretty much the gist of things for the main deck. Quarian Ranger also generates mana, make sure you hit your land drops, and War Master helps you go wide on the board state. The sideboard, kind of all the usual suspects that you would expect to find in a green-black deck. The white splash, you have the ability to play a Dranith Magistrate. And this card, which I didn't even know existed up until a week ago, is really interesting to me, and a card that is now definitely on my radar. It's called Mark of Asylum, and it's 1 and a white to prevent all non-combat damage that would be dealt to creatures you control. And this is especially important because of how omnipresent red removal is within the format, and this card actually protects your board against Fury. So, curious to see how this card performs over the course of this league. We're going to jump in. Thank you for joining me. Let's get to it. All right, we are jumping in match 1 of our Modern League. We are playing against Matthews 1993. We are on the play with Modern Elves. Let's see how this goes. I think this opening 7 seems very acceptable. We'll keep it and we'll run with it. We'll see how this goes. Got some lands, got some spells. Opponent keeps their 7. And I think we'll start by just shocking in this tomb, playing on our Quarian Ranger. We're doing it. First elf has hit the battlefield. Alright, we're playing against Mill. And I actually would think that this probably isn't a terrible matchup. We'll see. We'll see if I'm right or I'm wrong, but I feel like we can just run them over. Hopefully. Okay, Devoted Druid's an interesting one. I think we're going to ramp our mana here and play our Devoted Druid. And we're not going to attack into this crab. Crab people holding down the fort. So we're actually really close to infinite mana here. And if they mill over a Vizier, we'll just be able to win on our next turn, just about. Let's see if they do. Okay, no Vizier. No black mana on their side of the table. Kind of interesting. There's an Archdruid. Other elves get +1/+1. I think that one's probably pretty important. So I think we're going to lead... Oh, wrong mana. No, don't concede. Undo, undo. So our life really doesn't matter here, so that's not something we need to be particularly concerned about. So I can go Archdruid and War Master. I guess I need to sequence this War Master first, because that will give us an extra token. We will give them the opportunity for a trap, but I think we're okay with that. And we're setting up the win for next turn here. We'll get our Temple Garden here. Okay, and we should have the win next turn. As long as this Archdruid stays in play, which hopefully it does. Alright, we'll see if we get trapped here. If they have something like a Tasha's, that will be really bad for us. Okay, it feels like we are. We are not. We got lucky. We got lucky. Alright, another blue source. Interesting. It seems like they're almost running mono blue. Like, if they can't answer this Archdruid and they can't kill us, they're in deep trouble. Fractured Sanity, 14 cards. Okay, Vizier's not in the graveyard. I think they're just dead now. Okay. So we'll play out our land here. We're going to add 5 mana. Powerful. Play out our Tyvar. Play out our Fiend Artisan. And then we will use our Fiend Artisan. Green. And I think we'll sacrifice... we need to have 3 attackers. Oh, I only need 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so we can sacrifice the Archdruid here. Done. Get the Vizier. Okay, and now we can just pump our team infinitely. This is going to take forever, though. I'm going to ask my opponent kindly if they'll scoop. Activate. Okay, we'll move to combat here, and we'll attack with the team. And that will be lethal. Alright. We just dealt 51 damage, I think. Post-sideboard. We're going to bring in a Grist. I think a Decay is probably fine. Thoughtseizers are probably fine. Definitely want Endurance. And then beyond that, I think that's it. That's a lot of cards, though, so we'll see how we approach this. What do we cut now? Everything's the same. Everything does the same thing. Probably shave. Maybe shave on some tutors to start with. Some finales. Or maybe chords. Shave a chord, a finale. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing here. We'll bring in those endurances. Maybe Abrupt Decay isn't good enough. Maybe we don't want all the Thoughtseizes. Maybe we just bring in like 2 Thoughtseizes. The only card I really care about is Tasha's Hideous Laughter. That's the one that can kill us. I feel like we can shave Aquarian Ranger. I guess we don't really need the Decay. Like, the goal here is just run them over. Maybe we don't want to dilute our game plan too much. Like, maybe we don't even need to do anything. 2 Endurance. What else did I bring in? A second Grist. Like, maybe we don't even need the Thoughtseizes. You just stay pedal to the metal here. So I shave 2 Tutors and Aquarian Ranger. Alright, let's try it. Alright, I like this. We'll keep it. Doesn't have a really big payoff, but I think it can get out of the gates pretty quickly, so we'll go with this. Okay, there's a payoff. So the chord can find the Vizier, and then we can go infinite with Finale. So I'll start on the Beseiju here, and I think we'll go Aquarian Ranger to start with. I guess technically I probably should have fetched, just because giving them an extra draw step to find an archive trap if I fetch next turn. Like, and I'm likely going to need to, so maybe that's the play. We'll yield. Art on Finale is pretty sweet. I like this card. Alright, so they are holding up a Drown in the Lock potentially here. Grist is a good draw. I like Grist. I'm going to start with an attack. We're going to fetch. So now if they have Trap into Drown in the Lock, they'll be able to counter this Druid. So we'll see if they have that. They do not. Okay. Next turn we can get our Grist down, which I think is pretty powerful. Fractured Sanity, sure. We have 2 creatures in the graveyard. Grist is just super good in this matchup. Land, untapped after they play their crab out. Another 3 cards. No creatures in that one. Alright, back to our turn. So we have the potential to make a metric ton of mana this turn. And the question is, how do we use it? So I think we start... I wonder if we can just kill. We're probably pretty close to it. Yeah, we're probably really close to just killing this turn. So I could just chord. I think we start with Heritage Druid. Let's see if this goes through. It does. I'll play on an Elfish Mystic. They're definitely representing a counter spell here. Let's activate Heritage Druid. We have 3 mana. I think I'm going to play out a Grist here. And then try to kill next turn. Okay, here, this gets the Drown in the Loch. Sure. Play out our land. So I can have 2 untapped creatures. Not good enough. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think we'll just pass from here. Give our opponent 1 more turn here. See what they do. Okay, opponent plays a Soul Guide Lantern. Sure. I think they exile our Grist, maybe? Okay, exile their own Drown in the Loch. So they're representing another Drown in the Loch here. Elvish Archdruid. So that could be bait. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Yeah, we can use that as bait here. Like, they're not really pressuring us. Like, we still have 41 cards left in our deck here. Okay, they just let that happen. Cool. I'm just going to pass here. And then EOT, I think I'm going to go for my Vizier. Just make them respect our combo here. Tasha's. Okay, so this might take us off of our combo. I'm going to respond to this. So I'm going to Chord. And we'll get our Vizier in play. Okay, so this is infinite mana from here. And now we'll be able to kill with Finale on our turn. We got 13 cards. You would expect it to hit more cards, but we put up quite a few 3-drops in our deck. See if they have another one of those. They don't. Okay, they're dead. I could fetch. I don't need to. Like, our mana's good at this point. Okay. So we're going to pump our team infinitely. And we'll be 1-0 in just a moment. The Crater Hoof effect. Right, I think this is enough. 12-12 to all of our creatures. Done. Finale. Unless our opponent has a Force of Negation, they are dead. And they scoop. We're 1-0. Match 2 of our Modern League with Combo Elves. We are going to be on the draw. Opening 7. I think this is acceptable. We'll keep this. We're playing against BrofessorDumbellDor. See what the Professor has in store for us. Starts with the basic planes. Playing against Hammertime here. No 0-drop, so we're good there. Okay, Druid, not bad. We'll lead on our Druid and pass the turn. And we can get a little bit crazy. So turn 2 we can go War Master. Oh, that's annoying. Turn 2 we can go War Master. Turn 3 we can go Devoted Druid. Make a token and then have a bunch of mana. Like the interaction between War Master and Heritage Druid is really nice. Alright, so they'll have at least 1 hammer here. Colossus Hammer. And we can't block it, so there's no point in leaving anything back. That's actually not a bad draw either. Alright, so we just have to hope we don't die. And then we have a shot to win on our turn. As long as we're not dead. Okay, there's a Saga, so there will be a second hammer coming down the pipeline at some point. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's just lethal. Oops. Forgot about that. Okay, we'll scoop this one. Not much you can do there. Alright, game 2. I want to bring in some interaction. So we'll bring in Force of Vigor's Decay. Haywire Might. Do I want anything else? The question is, do I want Thoughtseize or not? I don't think so. I don't think that's worth it. In this matchup, Grist feels, like with this deck, feels worse than it does with Yawgmoth. I think this is just like who can kill quicker, basically. If we were on the play that game, we would have won that game. I think we can cut a Chord. Maybe a Quarian Ranger. Maybe a Fiend Artisan. We'll go with this. Like, our deck has so much redundancy, the creatures, like, in terms of, like, sideboarding, I'm not exactly sure what to do. We have the Besage. I think we'll keep this. I was going to say we don't have any interaction, but this counts. And our mana's pretty good, so I think we'll go with this. Start with the Mystic. Pass the turn. Opponent kept a 7-card hand. Sentinel, sure. It's not really going to do too much. Ornithopter, sure. Okay, Finale is pretty good. So we're going to cast one of our 2 mana spells out. And I wonder, like, do we get the Fiend Artisan online, or do we just try to ramp our mana this turn and then try to kill the following turn? I think we want to ramp our mana. I wish this thing had haste. That would make this game much easier. I suppose I could Finale. Okay, no. We have the win next turn. Potentially. Depending on what they do, like we'll have infinite mana on our turn. So we can Finale, get the Vizier, cast the War Master, and just pump our team. Then we'll have Besage up. Okay, yeah, so this is good. Okay, and that's actually a really good draw too, because we can untap one of our creatures, and then we'll have 2 attackers. Okay, you can draw a card off the Sentinel. Search library. Vizier. Boom. War Master. Quarian Ranger. We'll make a guy. So the Quarian Ranger, the value of having this is it's going to untap our Mystic and it will give us a second lethal attacker. Got our Fiend Artisan. Okay, return a Forest. Untap. Play this out. We'll dump down the Sentinel. Then we'll move to combat. And they scoop. Okay. Game 3. And I think we'll just stick with what we got. I think this is fine. I think our opening 7 here is too slow. I think we need to ship this. We don't have any interaction. This one we can keep. And we'll get rid of a... No, we want both of the Tyvars because we can pitch one to the Force of Vigor. So we're going to get rid of probably the Heath. Yes. Alright, they got nothing. Cord is fine. We'll play out our Elf. Pass the turn. If they have like a Cauldra hand, that might be a little problematic for this. Play out a Saga and do nothing. Interesting. Like they snapped off their hand. They kept it very quickly, so it's a little strange they're not doing anything. Tyvar. We're going to minus Tyvar and see if we can get another creature into play. Oh, okay. We got our combo. We'll get the Druid. And next turn we'll be able to get infinite mana. And then we can get our Duskwatch, draw our whole deck, and kill from there. So we have the win next turn. Okay, second Saga. I could pop both of those, but I don't need to do that. We can just hard cast the Force of Vigor with the infinite mana that we're going to get. Okay, Finale makes this super easy. Cast our second Tyvar. So this is a turn 3 kill, assuming they don't have interaction. We'll keep that one. Minus. Like, even if they kill this Devoted Druid, we still can kill this turn. So they need 2 pieces of interaction for our board state to be able to win. Okay, our opponent is casting a Path to Exile on our Devoted Druid. I think they're trying to figure out how they can get out of this situation. But they will not be able to. Oh, actually, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we'll be okay. Okay. Yes. Get ourselves a basic. Okay. Yes. Busier. Land. Yes. Done. Devoted Druid. So this is our infinite mana here. And then we'll be able to Finale for an untapped, for a hasty creature, and then we'll be able to kill with that. I could also get a Quarian Druid and have 2 lethal threats. So that might be what I do here, just to diversify. We're going to destroy both their sagas just to hammer the point home. Okay, 22. And I'm going to get a Quarian Ranger just in case they have something like a Solitude in their deck, which some Hammertime decks are doing. Search library. Quarian Ranger. Where are you? There. We will activate, untap, return a forest. Good games. 2-0. Alright, we are back. Match 3, Modern League with Combo Elves. Opening 7. I like this hand. We'll go with this. This is a good one. Keep. We're playing against 41 Crid. And they are on the play. Alright. It'd be nice if we were on the play at some point. This deck feels like it's probably more powerful on the play than on the draw. Got our good friend Dryad Arbor in our opening hand. They lead on a Scalding Tarn. A little scary. Little scary. Basic Forest, not terrible. We'll play that out. And play out our Mystic, and then pass the turn. So we're like 1 piece off of our combo. This feels like this is getting bolted here. No? Okay. That to me feels like a run in 6, though. We'll see if that is correct. No run in 6. Ooh. I like that. I like that. Alright, another land. Okay, we're good on lands at this point. We do not want any more. I'm going to play out... I'm going to get a Tomb here. And we'll get our Archdruid into play. And then pass the turn. So next turn, our mana producing capabilities will be able to do 3 mana off the Archdruid if it survives. And then we can untap it with Quarian Ranger and add another 3, so we can go 6 mana with that. If we had something like a Crater Hoof, we'd be able to get that into play next turn, but we don't, unfortunately. Maybe this deck should run something like... Oh, never mind. Okay, so this is Rhinos then. That is what we are playing against. So I could get another Archdruid into play next turn. Maybe that's what we want to do. We're going to be on a 2-turn clock, depending... I'm assuming they have Rhinos this turn. Alright, Tyvar. Tyvar's not Great. So if we mill a Devoted Druid, we'll have the kill next turn. So maybe we do that. Let's see if we get lucky here. As long as they don't have like a Force of Negation. Okay, Tyvar resolves. We'll mill. Well, I guess we'll get a Landlord Elf. Elf. If we get Furied here, we're just going to lose. Quarian Ranger. We'll play out our Verdant Catacombs. So I'm expecting Rhinos. There they are. I wonder if this is as bad of a matchup with Elves as it is with Yawgmoth. Elves just has like a little bit of a faster combo potential, or like more consistently faster. Alright, yeah, that's going to be a game. We're scooping it. That does it. We need to dodge that. We did not. Okay. So against Rhinos, we're going to be bringing in Mark of Asylum, Drannith Magistrate, all of our Thoughtseizes, our Forged Tender, and we will board out. Grist, probably not great. I think we're going to get rid of 2 chords. Fiend Artisan. I mean, Fiend Artisan can have a big body, but seems slow. I feel like some of our dorks we can probably shave. Of course, you shave the Mystics before you shave the Landlord Elves. Shave a Quarian Ranger as well. Those are just so susceptible to removal. Maybe dump a War Master or a Tyvar. I feel like Tyvar is probably fine on the play. It's just on the draw. Maybe get rid of 1 Fiend Artisan. Just like shave 1s in certain places. -1 Tyvar. We'll try that. Alright, this hand is very interactive, so I think we're going to keep this. So I think we're going to go turn 1 Forged Tender, turn 2 Fiend Artisan into a Thoughtseize. Or maybe, no, I think we probably have to go, no. We'll take quite a bit of damage off our mana here. So if we draw a 1-drop, I'll probably Thoughtseize. Alright, there's a Forest, so we'll save us a little bit of damage here. Attack for 1. Suppose I probably should have attacked first and then cast the Fiend Artisan. Just in case they do have a removal spell, they'll make me sacrifice it. Which it seems they're doing. But then again, they're going to take extra damage off their land. Make sure I don't have my yields on. Okay. Okay, that's prevented. Yield through turn. Yeah, so I guess technically that worked out better because we got 3 points of damage as opposed to just 1. Or 2 points of damage as opposed to 1. Now this feels like this is getting fire iced. Maybe? Okay, so that's not terrible. We'll leave with an attack here. We'll hit for 2. Now if they have something like a bounce spell, they'll prevent the damage here, which is what this feels like. Yep. Okay. And the hope from here is they only have 1 Cascade spell as opposed to 2, but we shall see. Alright, they have 2. End of Fury. So that's problematic. Alright, I think we take the Outburst, because it's also a pitch spell to the... Yeah, maybe I play this game wrong. I don't know. We'll take the Outburst. I think we're probably losing this one. It's the Tarn, we knew about that. Alright, and the Shardless Agent, sure. So our life is in pretty severe jeopardy at this point. I guess our out from here is just trying to go infinite. Like, hope they don't have another red card to pitch this Fury. Okay, I mean, we could potentially have this here. So we do need to dodge this Fury on this turn. So I'll core during their turn, and then we do need a sink to put our infinite mana into as well. Alright, there's the mountain we knew about. We're going to go down to 5. They have 3 cards in hand. Alright, no Fury. No Fury. Alright, no Fury. We got lucky. Alright. Moment of truth. Can we draw something that we can use? Elf Druid. Archdruid. What does that represent? Not sure that does anything. So we're at 3 life. I mean, do I have to get like a Quarian Ranger? I don't think that accomplishes anything either, though. Done. Sacrifice. Okay, they have some sort of interaction. Playing out their Brazen Borrow, sure. Like, I can get the Duskwatch Recruiter. Oh, is that the line? Duskwatch, activate. I'll still be 1 mana short. Ugh. I don't think there's a line from here. Yeah, I don't know what the line is here. I don't think I have one. Don't think I have one. Yeah, I think we're just dead. Unfortunately. Okay. We're 2-1. Round 4 Modern League, we are playing against MisterGouts. I don't know if that's something you want to hang your hat on, but hey, to each their own. Opening 7, a little bit weak, but I think we're going to keep it, and they are on the play. Can't win a die roll. We need to take our time after today's league and practice our die rolls so we can start winning some. Okay, opponent leads blue to Delta, and they shock in a Steam Vents and play a Dragon's Rage Channeler. So I imagine this is probably going to be a pretty tough matchup. Okay, Bobble, put a Murktide into the graveyard. This is the combo here. Combo achieved. So very unlikely that my 1-drop survives. But we drew another one, so we're gonna do our thing. Once again, obviously play the Mystic before the Landlore Elves, because the Landlore Elves are strictly better than the Mystics. Opponent plays a Fiery Islet. Another Dragon's Rage. They're going to have Delirium times 100 in just a moment. And I imagine our elf is not going to be long for this world. You did. Dead elf, unfortunately. Now every draw step for the rest of the game is going to be fixed for them. This is really unfortunate because we could have had a super explosive turn next turn. But now we're probably just dead. Peatland. Don't think that really does much for us. I'm just going to fetch basic here just to preserve my life total. And I'm going to play out the War Master, which I fully expect to just die on our next turn. On their next turn. Alright, we're going to take a hit for 6. We're going to go down to 10. Just a super quick clock from them. Okay. I'm just going to scoop it up. We're not winning this one. We know what they're doing. We don't need to see them run us over the next 2 turns. Okay. Post sideboard, we're going to bring Grist, Abrupt Decay, Mark of Asylum, and some number of Thought Seizes, or maybe a Forge Tender as well. Ooh, Endurance. Ooh, forgot about that one. Okay, so we got a ton of cards to bring in, and now the question is, what do we board out? I think some number of Tyvars, some number of Mystics. I feel like I might have boarded in too much. We'll keep the Tender out. It's just not impactful enough. Probably board out some Finales, and what else? A third Finale? It's just going to be too slow probably. Or maybe a Quirion Ranger? Yeah, I just don't see ourselves resolving a Finale. I think the likelihood is low. Alright, we got our combo. We don't have a way to protect it, but we'll try it. We'll try it alright. Good old college try. I'm going to lead fetching basic here. The hope is they only have 1 removal spell and they use it on our Landlore Elf. That's the hope. Or if we draw into something like Tyvar, that would be really nice. So we could like turn 2 Tyvar, as long as this doesn't die, which it's going to. And then like turn 3 combo at instant speed. Later. Later, dude. Fiend Artisan. I don't hate the Fiend. Like, do we bide our time here a little bit? Like, try to get them to use the removal on things we don't really care about? Like the Fiend Artisan? Back to our opponent's turn. 7 cards in hand. Opponent plays Basic Island. Mishra's Bobble. Looks at our top card. And now they decide what they want to do. Peatland. Okay, so what we can do is we can Verdant Catacombs, get ourselves a Mana Dork, or get ourselves our Dryad Arbor, sacrifice the Dryad Arbor, get ourselves a Mana Dork, which also pumps the Fiend Artisan, which I think we're gonna do. Actually, this takes us off of white mana, though. Do we have another way to make white mana? We don't. No Birchler Ranger in the deck, unfortunately. I mean, maybe this is just the play. Just start pressuring them. Okay, they consider in response to this. Okay, let's get ourselves... Heritage Druid has the ability to make quite a bit of mana. Obviously, we're short on elves right now, but maybe we just get another Mystic and just pass the turn from here. Okay, they bolt the Fiend Artisan, which we're quite alright with, I think. We can Finale and get ourselves another Fiend Artisan next turn if we want to. They cast Iteration. They're going to have 4 card types after this. Untapped land. See if they bolt our Dork here. Yes, I think. Okay, Ragavan, sure. Don't really care about the Ragavan. Like, all of our cards aren't very good, so if that's what they want to do, that's fine by me. Okay, that might change things a little bit. Maybe we just get this Grist into play and just try to start churning some value with it. They're thinking, I wonder, okay, yeah, that makes sense. 3 cards in hand. I'm going to put this on top as a way to bait another counterspell. I think we're playing the long game here as opposed to the short game. And this Elvish Mystic really isn't that important, so I'm going to chump block this Ragavan if they want to attack into it. If they don't, so if they kill the Mystic and then attack with the Ragavan, they'll pull the Grist off the top, which I think we're fine with if they do that too. Which I think is what they're going to do. Yes, okay, so they're going to take our Grist off the top. Not a big deal. They have 3 cards in hand. I'm assuming one of which is probably a counterspell. Dragon's Rage, 2 cards in hand. Another Dragon's Rage, okay. So they're emptying out the tank. So if we pull a fetch land on our next turn, we'll have the win. As long as they don't have a counterspell. We're going to take a big hit this turn though. Swing for 8, sure. They got themselves a Tyvar. You are welcome to that Tyvar. Okay, explosives for 2. That's a little annoying. So that certainly cuts us off of our combo, and they have lethal next turn. There's the fetch land. Vizier, will you allow this? Can I please have infinite mana? Oh, whoa there. What in the world just happened? Alright, we got infinite mana. I am super confused. I don't think our opponent understands how this works. Yeah, that doesn't change anything. I'm going to explain to my opponent. Okay, I'm explaining to my opponent what's going to happen here. We'll see if they scoop. So the line I have available is I can finale for an infinite amount. I'll get a Duskwatch Recruiter. I can draw my entire deck from there, and then just swing in for lethal. I don't even need to draw my entire deck, but it's a line that's available. So for the sake of time, I guess I could just finale for 20 right now. Yeah, our opponent messed up big time. They got greedy. I think they saw that we were casting another 2-drop and thought they can respond to this, but if we are familiar with the rules of Magic, mana abilities, they are fast and furious. Alright, I don't even need to do all this. I guess I don't know what they could possibly have. They only have 1 card in hand. Alright, so we'll just do it like this. This is fine. 40, 22 of 18. Okay, sure. Okay, finale. I did 1 extra. That's fine though. Search my library. Get a Duskwatch Recruiter. Activate. Get an elf. Get an elf. Get an elf. I'm not going to show them the endurance. Cast some elves. Cast some elves. Cast some elves. And we'll attack for lethal here. Alright, we got there. Opponent didn't want to scoop through that, but that's fine. That's fine. Okay, game 3. I wonder if we bring in more Thought Seizes on the draw? Like, my biggest concern is just running into Dragon's Rages, like those just running us over. Maybe I bring in the Forged Tender? Shave another Tyvar? Maybe Tyvar just isn't good here and we just go like this. Okay, our opening 7 is a 1-lander. Unfortunately, it's not the land we want, so we'll mulligan it. 6-card hand is fine. Not great, but fine. We'll keep it and we'll bottom the Turn Timber, I think. Yeah, we'll go with that. If they just have a hand chock full of red removal, this hand is obsolete. 1 mana. Ragavan, sure. Devoted Druid. I'm going to lead fetching basic here. Play out our elf, pass the turn. Basic island. Interesting, they're swinging into our elf. I think I'm okay with that trade. Like, we just have a lot of redundancy in our hand. I'm guessing they have another Ragavan, but I don't mind making that trade right now. Okay, they do nothing. That was their only threat, so that's kind of cool. Yes, I'll pay 2 life, and then so if I play out the Devoted Druid, it's almost guaranteed they kill it. But I feel like the Recruiter is probably more valuable, so we'll play out the Druid. We're fine with that. And then next turn I can play out Azuri. Interesting, wasn't expecting that one. They have 4 cards in hand. Their hand is really slow. Like, that attack with the Ragavan was very suspect. Alright, so I can fetch basic, or like that will cut me off a black mana. So I think we'll take a point of damage off this. I'm gonna play out the Archdruid here. And then depending on what they do next turn, I'll play out 2 creatures. Recruiter into Devoted Druid. They're casting their Brazen Borrower? Sure. They have 5 cards in hand. They've thought about this Archdruid, so I wonder if they have a counterspell or not. Dragon's Rage, sure. Swing for 3. Forge Tender. That's not a bad one. So I can go Forge Tender into Devoted Druid into Azuri. Okay, they dress down, sure. We'll add a mana in response to that. I'm going to fetch basic here. I'm going to preserve my life total a little bit. We'll get the Duskwatch into play. And now if they have something like a Fury, that will be... Well, I guess we can deal with a Fury if they have that. Something like an Engineered Explosives would be pretty devastating. They have 5 cards. I'm not exactly sure what they're doing over there. Put an island into the graveyard. We're on a 2-turn clock though, so we do need to kill on our next turn. Consider, sure. Land into the graveyard. Card on top, okay. Attack for 6, we're down to 5. Not sure Windswept Heath does anything here. Okay, so what plays do we have available to us? I can go Azuri, activate the Archdruid, Duskwatch. We're going to just start with Duskwatch. Like, I feel like a Quirion Ranger is going to need to be in the mix somewhere here. Just for mana production purposes, or maybe we start with the Azuri. I didn't think this through completely, but I feel like this might be part of the equation here. And Holy Heat targeting the Druid. Okay, so our opponent's actually giving us an opportunity here. Forge Tender that. We'll see if they have another one. Okay. Really interesting line for our opponent. So our Devoted Druid now adds... Well, I guess it already added 2 mana. 1, 2, 3. Maybe I should have fetched. Okay. Endurance. Endurance gets us out of this situation a little bit. So that's actually really good. We'll go down to 4. Lay our land out. I'm going to attack with the Duskwatch, I think. And we need them not to fill up their entire graveyard. And then next turn we could potentially have the win. Druid. Cast out the Endurance now while we can. If they have a Subtlety, we'll lose, but... Alright, they don't. In it to win it. We'll yield through the turn. We can't really use this fetch land here, but that's okay. Shredder, sure. Consider, sure. So I guess technically they could put 4 cards into their graveyard, but we still won't be dead. So this would actually be good for us if they do, and they don't have another land. Okay, they're not going to be able to, so that's fine. And this, so if they're tapped out, like if they don't have a red source, we'll actually be able to kill them, I think. EE for 0, sure. I'm not exactly sure what their line is here. They have 3 card types. Okay, so they don't have a land. We're down to 3. We may or may not be able to use that Dryad Arbor. We'll see. War Master. There's War Master free. So 5, 8, 8 plus 6, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. We can swing for 19. 19 and 5, 8, 14 of it will have trample. Okay, we'll see if this is good enough. And they can't actually, oh, I think we just have lethal here. Wow. We'll swing. Yeah, they're super dead. I think this is lethal. We got there. Nice. All right, Modern Elves, match 5, Modern League. We are playing against DerpityDerpz. They are on the play. We don't win die rolls here. Opening 7, I don't think we can keep this. I think it just should go down to 6. And this one I like better. It's a little slow. We do want a 1-drop, but I think this is a keep. And I think we're going to probably get rid of Temple Garden. And we'll go with it. All right, DerpityDerpz, what you got? Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, that's the one card you don't want to see when you have a hand like this. Alright, yeah, this is going to be, I think this is going to be a tough game, if I had to guess. Opponent leading off on a Ragavan attack. Let's see if they see what we're working with here. Court of Call. Okay, so it still looks like Yawgmoth here. Voidwalker. Voidwalker not as scary against this deck. And I'm guessing, I mean, they might be on a Blood Moon. I don't know, but I think I'm still fetching basic here. They have 4 cards in hand. Fury is going to be pretty brutal against this deck. I wonder if we just get another basic. I think we'll do that. I'll play out our War Master and pass the turn here. So it might have been correct to play out my Devoted Druid, but I'm kind of on board with just chump blocking this Ragavan if I'm giving the opportunity. I don't think I will be. Yeah, terminate, sure. 3 cards in hand. We're going to go down to 11. Quick lock. And they got their own War Master. We'll see if they cast it out. They do not. Okay, so they're leaving mana up for, I'm guessing, some form of a removal spell. From here, I guess I can go like Druid, hope it survives, into War Master, Archdruid. Or I can just cast out the Archdruid. Yeah, I think I do that. I mean, if they have a removal spell, none of these plays really matter, to be honest, but this is the most mana efficient play, so we'll take it. All right, they don't kill it, which is interesting. Interesting they didn't cast out our War Master when they could have. Yeah, I think they should have cast out our War Master last turn. Land on the top, sure. We're at 5 life. They have 2 cards in hand. Another Finale doesn't do anything. Play this thing out. I don't think... Yeah, we can't we can't take the damage. That will just kill us. And we need a blocker, so I think we have to play this out. And we'll pass the turn. I don't think we have a line to win from this point. I'm pretty sure we're just dead. Yeah, that was... Yeah, okay, you got me. Cool. Cool. Feels like a nightmare. We're going to bring Grist, Abrupt Decay, Mark of Asylum, Endurance, Thoughtseize, and Forge Tender. I don't think I want all the Thoughtseizes. We'll bring in some of them. And we're going to shave a bunch of 1-drops. I'm going to shave all the Mystics. And probably, I feel like Heritage Druid's probably worse than Mystic in this matchup. So we'll keep some Mystics. War Master seems fine. Artisan seems fine. Decay. We still have 4 cards we gotta cut. We'll shave some number of Tyvars just because they're not great if they do have a, they have the Shadow guy. I'm blanking on the name for a moment here. And then I think we'll get rid of Court of Callings as well. We'll go with this. Alright, we got our Forge Tender. I like this hand. I think we'll keep this. This kind of pans out pretty well. So we can go turn 1 Thoughtseize, turn 2 War Master, turn 3 Ranger, and Forge Tender. Make a 1/1. And just try to bring the beats. They're also mulliganing to 5, so I like this hand even more as a result of that. I would like to Thoughtseize, please. Malice, Grief. We'll get rid of the Grief. Your hand does absolutely nothing. Let's see if they draw another Grief off the top. Bloodstain Mire, nothing. Okay, our turn. Devoted Druid. Alright, we're going to fetch a basic, I think. And play out our War Master. Try to build out our board state. Hope they didn't draw into a removal spell. This is kind of our game plan from an aggressive standpoint. This is how we're going to... Okay, yeah, no removal. Marsh Flats, nothing. Okay. We drew into a Mystic. So I can play out 3 creatures this turn, and I think I'm going to do that. Taking a lot of damage off our lands here. So I think we lead Forge Tender. Hope they don't bolt this thing. Mystic, Ranger, and then attack for 2. And all we need is a Gaze Cradle. No, 2 of the cards in their hand. Now if they've drawn into a Fury, and they happen to have a red card, it will completely invalidate this Burnt-in Forge Tender on our side of the battlefield. What does that do? What does that do? Gives us infinite mana next turn. I don't think I played a land, did I? Okay, so now we can Chord for our Vizier, end a turn, and then just kill on their turn. And they scoop. Okay. Going to game 3. I think we got lucky on that one. I wonder if we bring in more Thoughtseizes on the draw. Shave another elf. Like, just hope that they're like trying to get us with the Fury plan. I think we'll just get rid of this turn Timber as well. Turn Timber. Maybe we need to keep that and we get rid of a Finale. No. I think we can shave that. Alright, match 3. No lands. Opponent mulligans to 6. I think this opening 7's fine. We're going to get rid of the Forge Tender. We'll keep Forge Tender. Done. See what they do. Land, pass. Sure. Land, elf, pass. Don't kill my elf. I actually really like Duskwatch in this matchup. It's a very strong card. Like, if it's like you're in a top deck war and you just like play out a Duskwatch and draw a card off of it, it feels really powerful. Really strong. Okay, this feels like Voidwalker, the card I was trying to remember from earlier. All right, we drew another Finale, which doesn't do too much. So I can play out the Duskwatch and leave up Endurance, or I can just do the Endurance thing now. So I think next turn we Finale and get ourselves the Druid, and then the following turn we Finale and get ourselves the Vizier and just try to kill. Like, they're not presenting that fast of a clock here, so I think we're okay with this. They missed their land drop there. Boseiju. Boseiju preserves our life total a little bit. We're going to start with an attack for 3. And if they want to terminate this, we're fine with that. I'm very happy about that. As long as they don't have a Fury in hand. Alright, let's dodge some removal. Search library. Get ourselves a Devoted Druid. Alright, no Fury. One time. No removal spell one time. Hopefully their hand's just a bunch of nonsense. Dash Dragavan maybe? That hurts. Okay. Windswept Heath. Okay, so Heath gets us another basic. We can also Finale or just play out our Recruiter, try to draw into something. I feel like the Recruiter line is just too slow though. I'm gonna Finale for 2 again. Get ourselves another Devoted Druid. I'll play out this Windswept Heath. Pass the turn. I'm going to fetch my white source with this Windswept Heath just in case I draw into one of my white cards. I'd like to have it available. There's the 3rd land for our opponent. I'm guessing that's all their terminates. Not much I can do from there. Going down to 9. And difference between 9 and 8, those don't matter, so we'll fetch. Alright, I'm going to play out the Duskwatch here, and I am going to draw cards right off the bat. Just in case I draw a 1-drop, I'll play it out. There's a 2-drop. So if they don't have, I mean, we still have a shot here. Not a great one, but we do have a shot. They have 4 cards. There's a Fury. Okay, this is gonna be game over, most likely. I kind of knew they had a Feign Death effect. That doesn't surprise me. They discarded another Fury. We're gonna go down to 5 here. Okay, that actually gives us a little bit more outs. It gives us a blocker, an extra blocker. They only have 1 card, so if they don't have direct damage, we're not dead just yet. Canopy. We can actually win this game. That would be crazy. That would be freaking crazy if we won this game, depending on what they have. Fingers crossed, no Lightning Bolt, no removal spell. Just air in hand, which I'm not convinced they have because they've missed multiple land drops, so they probably have something. Hopefully it's just like a creature that doesn't do anything. Non-Ragavan creature too, because if they dash that in, we have to chump block. Alright, our opponent's thinking. We'll be blocking with our Elf Warrior. Alright, fingers crossed. Don't kill my creature. Okay. My sentiments remain. Don't kill my creature. Alright, we got a shot here. That would be so crazy. That's not it. That's not it either. Ugh, unfortunate. That is unfortunate. We had a shot. Archdruid. Yeah, just the fact we can't block this Voidwalker takes us out of it, unfortunately. Alright, GG's. Heading out. Yeah, if we drew any of our tutors, we would have had infinite, and we could have swung for close to lethal. So that league was a ton of fun. I really enjoyed that. Modern Elves, a very powerful strategy. I like the inclusion of the Vizier of Remedies, Devoted Druid combo to kind of put you over the top with regards to giving you an out in some situations where you otherwise wouldn't have it. And, you know, just kind of like an instantaneous kill if you can get the combination of those 2 cards in play. We went 3-2 in the league, and kind of as expected, we beat 3 pretty solid decks, and we lost to 2 Fury decks, and I think that's probably why you don't see this deck more often, because Fury is everywhere, and this deck loses to it very hard. Despite that, we still had we didn't really have much of a chance against the Rhinos deck, but in our last match against Scam, we did have outs to win that game. You know, had we drawn something like a Finale of Devastation, a Chord of Calling, or just found the Vizier, you know, off the top, even a Tyvar. No, Tyvar wouldn't have done it. Chris could have done it too. Would have helped us stay alive longer. But we didn't find it. We didn't get there. So 3-2, we are relegated to an average kind of league. I would have liked to have seen the Mark of Asylum at some point to kind of see how that performs. We never drew it, never saw it, so we didn't really have the opportunity to test that one out. But deck was sweet. If you're into it, I'd recommend you give it a try. I think it's kind of in the same vein as Yawgmoth as a lot of the other decks that I have played on this channel are. Kind of slightly different angle, but similar idea. So give it a try if you got the cards, or if you're playing on Magic Online. This deck is super cheap, so if you're looking to get into the format online, this would be a good way to do it as well. I am checking out for the day. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for tuning into my videos. Thank you for your support. The thing that matters to me the most is that you hit that subscribe button if you have not done so already. So please, it's right below this video. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so. And thank you for sticking through this whole league with me. I enjoy doing this, and I enjoy having you with me. So until next time, everybody, continue to be well. I'll see you soon.